Everyone's laughing so much. I wish it was recording a little bit earlier. Oh well. All right, folks. Welcome back to another week. This week in search, I guess we call it, but it's just us rambling. I suppose the originally known as SEO Friday chats, but somehow we ended up here. All right, guys. I got a few things I want to get to, but let's go around the. Oh, so let's go around the room and everyone say hello and introduce themselves. I guess we'll start with some of the new guys. Everyone, who you are, where you work, or for yourself, what do you do, and what have you been up to lately?
Well, my name's Blair. I was born in Inverness and I ended up moving house quite a lot of times. I currently live in Keith, Fife, which is a little town in basically northeast Scotland. I used to what's that?
Now that he's just getting all excited.
Okay.
And actually, Doc is a Campbell, and my mother is a Campbell as well. So you've got some representation.
I'm a Plunkett, so okay, go for it.
There you go.
Well, I've been doing most of my jobs before I done SEO was basically always working in retail. I basically was working in retail in Perth, Dundee, Glasgow, Elgin, and then I basically moved on from my first online business was basically selling stuff on eBay. I had medicine, basically Mazuka honey, which I was selling quite well on eBay. And then I basically moved on from selling stuff on eBay into doing proper SEO work. And then I basically moved on from SEO work to buying a house to do that, which will eventually be turned into a container renting business. The reason it's going to be a container renting business is because the house itself came with basically a gigantic garden. I could
So essentially, it just sounds like you're moving backwards. You went from things that are actually good to make money with and ended up in SEO. Well, congratulations. I don't know.
I've been going forward, to be honest.
Dave, and we have a new Dave. That's exciting because we always have at least 3 Steves in here. So, Dave, give us a little rundown of who you are and what you're doing with yourself lately.
What's up, guys? I'm originally from South Africa, living in the UK, and I've been doing SEO for the last 4 years. I think I started off doing it the improper way, and then kind of saw the lights and seen a lot of what you guys put out there, which is really cool. Still learning a great deal. It's not my core job. My core job is working for in the IT industry for an international company, international finance company. So I can kind of let you guys figure it out. And I build service for them in the UK and Europe. And this is something I do part-time, but I'm hoping to go full-time sometime. I was hoping to go full-time last year, but I had 3 back operations last year, which kind of was a bit of a minor setback. But
yeah, I guess it would be.
So I'm hoping to ramp things up this year.
Yeah, and as far as the right way, the unfortunate part is that, you know, those of us, like many people in this room that have been doing it 10, 15, 20 years, is that we just know what works over time and what's sustainable. And then you always got those people that come in with, you know, quick hit and quick method and this and that. And the problem is when you have a long history in it, you figure out what's sustainable. And if you're working with clients, you could only do that. If you're working for yourself and you're doing affiliate sites, hey, go nuts, man, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Doc Sheldon.
I mean, I've got a couple of small clients, but nothing major. But it's it's baby steps. So,
and it's a start. Like again, like I mentor some young fellers, and I mean young by young in the business, not necessarily age wise. And
yeah,
you take care of 2 clients, they turn into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and next thing you know, you're just living off referrals. So
yeah,
you just got to do the job a couple of times right, and you're done for life.
absolutely.
Doc Sheldon.
Doc Sheldon.
Who are you, Matt?
Yeah. Doc Sheldon, Intrinsic Value SEO and Search News Central. I specialize in technical SEO and trolling Dave.
Yep, it's a job.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, it never ends. I got nuggets now. So.
Now remember, I did not drop that. You did.
Yes, it's Hammond's fault. He's not here. I'll yell at him next time I see him.
There you go.
All right, Kevin.
Kevin Dory, SEO for dealer on local SEO, car dealers specifically. There we go. Short and sweet. just like
That's exactly what I was about to say. You're getting good at this. Short and sweet. You got it going on. Sam, I know you're shy, but Sam, you got to talk, man. So you got to come out here and tell us who you are. Come on, Sam. Sam's good. Oh, okay. No mic. All right. So I'll do this. Sam is actually an Israeli SEO. He's working out of Israel. So God knows what time it probably is there. Anyways, yeah, so Sam's a young SEO that's trying to make his way, pick up some clients and stuff. I've been helping him with different ideas to find that. And so if you're anywhere in that part of the world, hit him up. He's got the backing of the group. So, you know, when you work with him, you work with us. All right, Canadian Steve.
Steve Bonin, Harris Web Creative. Mainly, I build websites, but since that's a feast or famine type of thing, I wanted to get more into SEO and do that monthly retainer thing, and it's been working out. I've been doing it for about 2 years, and I've been in about 3 different industries so far.
You know, and every time you do that intro, I always sit here and go, God, you're so Canadian. You know? Well, come on. I'm talking to Steve Garenser now, but Steve, the guy's been with us for like 2.5 years. He probably knows more about SEO than the average dickwad on Facebook, you know? And he talks about it like, well, I just kind of do SEO here and there, and I don't know it. It's like, Jesus, bro. Like, you're sitting in that chat, you sit on that Skype chat with us for the last 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure you know more than a lot of people. So,
well,
I wouldn't sell yourself short on that.
What I do works for my clients. So, and really, I don't do anything exciting. And it's just all really technical stuff, and it's really just, you know, the ability to write. The ability to,
none of this is exciting. None of it's exciting. There is no. The only exciting part is when the check clears. That's the exciting part. That's where it ends.
Email transfers.
Sorry, man. I just, you know, it's old. God damn it, man. I'm old. It's the only way I know to talk. Mr. Garen, sir. Mr. Garen, sir. And I still fucking your name up after 20 fucking years. Whatever.
Steve Garenser, saw and forge woodworking, professional woodworker, and I dabble a little bit. In,
yeah.
Can we get a group slow clap here?
Wow. Yeah. Anyways, all right,
yes.
Very good. We'll go with that. Mr. Paisley.
Let's see. My name is Steve Plunkett. I've been doing SEO for, I don't know, about 24 years, I think.
You fucking pulling up your CSV there or what?
No. I'm writing my book. Hang on. I'm writing my book, How to Start a Startup in 30 Minutes. Hashtag How Startup 30. Check it out when you get a chance.
All right.
Nice.
We'll put a link onto the goddamn show page here. Come on, man. Get your shit together. Tim.
Hello, I'm Tim Calling. I work primarily with home health and hospice and elder care companies and do an awful lot of local SEO work. And that's my story. Nice.
You guys get better at this all the time. You know, Dave and Blair, don't worry. If you're around in a month from now, you'll have it down to, you know, like 30 seconds. All right. Okay, I have something I wanted to touch on, but I'm because it's not SEO related. I guess I'll wait a little bit. But so I guess the obvious piece of easy would be Google's little announcement this week as far as mobile having a speed ranking factor, everyone's favorite term. And of course, Mr. Garen, sir. You know from yesterday in the chat and on Skype that I was finding some little nuggets. Oh, shit, I just did it, didn't I? Okay. That were fun. Okay, so, all right, so they're calling it a ranking factor, this and that, and da-da-da. And so page speed mobile, okay, I can get that. But then they turned around in further questioning, and Mr. Mueller said that pages, slow AMP pages would actually rank lower.
Yes.
In this new algorithm, which is awesome because, you know, why not tell us to go implement AMP and then turn around 6 months later and say we have this new ranking factor that, you know, that AMP implementation might actually cost you.
No, it's because the idiots started. Okay, so here's what you didn't see. Okay, a lot of brands got
Were you watching it? Did you actually check out the Hangout? The John's Hangout in question? I didn't actually see the live version. So,
Oh, what I'm saying is there's a lot of people that took after big brands with spammy ass big AMP pages. So the AMP pages were really, really long. So it kind of defeated the whole purpose of them being AMP. But because the brand had not implemented AMP, they were doing the hijacking of the brand for ad pages. You know what I'm talking about? Downstream.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is where that spam thing came from.
Right. All right. So, and again, I guess the other thing that because, unfortunately, this industry has a real penchant for anything that comes out of Google's butthole of running and screaming the sky is falling. Again, I think, Steve, what was it? A very low percentage of queries?
Yeah, very low.
I tried to talk about that. I think it was Dumb SEO Questions or somewhere. And Alan Blayweiss is like, well, technically, Dave, a low percentage of queries when you have as many queries as Google does means it's still a big number. But I'm like, it's still a low percentage, Alan. So I think that, you guys can pipe in, but I don't think this is one of those skies falling things. I think it's just another generalized statement from Google. And really, at the end of the day, anything we've ever heard about page speed is if you're above the threshold of, the worst in your query space, I don't think you have much to worry about, really.
Yeah, but
I think if your page is slow, like if it's an AMP page or if it's a responsive page, if it's slow, it's going to impact you. It's just
user experience and conversions.
Right, but you should know that eventually that's going to impact you. Like if it's a ranking factor, it should be a ranking factor. If you have a shitty, slow page, it shouldn't be the first thing that pops up to a user because they're going to get annoyed and they're going to bounce. They're going to come back to the search. So why not make it a ranking factor?
And
again, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if it's a slow AMP page, it's just a badly made AMP page.
Exactly. It's like Google said, make things in AMP, but they didn't say make things in AMP poorly.
I'm going to do my best Terry impression because he's not here.
Oh.
But but again, it goes back to what Google thinks a ranking factor is compared to what the SEO industry does. Like I'm just putting this out here, but if your page doesn't render, it's probably a ranking factor because, well, it didn't render, so you're not going to rank for anything.
Right. That's what I meant by like if it's too slow, it should be considered in the algorithm. Why would we want to?
Okay, I think kind of in a roundabout way where I'm going, Kev, is that a ranking factor to SEOs is something they can manipulate. In conversations, it doesn't matter if it's Gary or Matt or whoever I talk to, you know what I mean, over the years, a ranking factor to a Googler is a far different thing. You know what I mean? It really is. Like to an SEO, a ranking factor is something I can manipulate. How do I use that to my advantage? How do I mess with it? Whereas to a Googler, it's literally anything that affects a ranking. So.
I think, aren't they about the same thing? There are things that affect a ranking. I guess everything you could from an SEO perspective. Maybe I'm just looking. God, do I?
Well, from a
like
search
Google?
engineer's, that's exactly it, though. From a search engineer's perspective, anything you're doing is a ranking factor, because literally, if it's positive or negative that you screw up on a site or whatever, can affect your ranking. So to them, that's what a ranking factor is. To an SEO, and a ranking factor is something I want to manipulate. And so I think this is two different languages that seem to go on with
that. If I can make it through a chat without Terry yelling at me, it's a good day. So the fact that he's not here helps.
Guys, yeah, it's because we had 10 people before. Now we got 9 because Tim keeps dropping in and out. So Terry's out somewhere cursing at us. I'm pretty sure. I see a little thing on my Skype here. So. All right. So hold on. I'll just because you're so excited, I will go get Terry back.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't. I like Terry. I just don't know that he likes me. So that works out well. I'm kidding.
Terry doesn't like very many people at all, so I wouldn't worry about it, buddy.
I was going to say, I think Terry operates under the old premise that I used to when I was younger. People I don't like, I don't talk to.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Regardless of what I'm saying, if I'm talking to you, I like you. So if Terry's talking to you, you're fine,
Well, we got to either way, I'm not too bent out of shape about the fact that Google says that slow ranking AMP pages are going to show below non-AMP pages. It would make sense. Like if page speed is a factor, it doesn't matter if it's an AMP page or not an AMP page.
Well, and again, like, you know, to me, when I talk to my clients and you know, you get that inevitable, like I know you're in-house these days, but, you know, you used to do that other stuff too. When you get that inevitable email because Google said something, you get one of those, I still tell them that, well, this isn't really about Google with this kind of stuff because it's such a low-end, like, scoring system, you know what I mean?
Right,
and
it's
again,
more concerned, you should look at it, and I get it from both sides because we've got the clients that are on our platform, but then we also have a ton of clients that are on their own platform. So they get that. So, you know, our sites are faster, but I usually.
Something happened.
Where'd he go?
Where'd everybody go? Am I still here?
Froze up.
Oh,
I was just going to ask about page speed and just clear something up. Are they looking for, or are they looking for first byte?
right. See, that's the thing. There's probably there's different elements, and the best you could ever assume is by looking at some of the reports they give you. It's like someone saying to me, like, should I look at the links in Search Console or should I look at them in Majestic or Ahrefs? I always tell people, look at what Google's telling you first. I mean, it's great to go look at secondary data, but you know, I mean, look at their tools. So yeah, they have the first response and then the render speed and so on and so on. Look at those categories. You know what I mean? But you know, at the end of the day, it's a user thing. It's more about conversions and usability than, to me. I don't think it's as important as, like, you know, like title tags or links or anything like that. So
I suppose another good way to look at it is by looking at using tools such as Pingdom or GT Metrics, looking at the top websites that are ranking on page 1 and comparing that to wherever you're based.
yeah, but to a degree, that's almost like the old SEO testing method, though. That, like, let's look at this and that. You know, you've got domain age and authority and temporal elements. You've got link profiles. You've got so many other factors involved there that I don't think you're going to get any kind of clear answer just by looking at the speed of pages that are ranking there. Like, you know, I've got, like, I was talking before the show about the guy in the marijuana industry and stuff. That's a very ground floor business. So you know, I was consulting to them and I was like, dude, just get up in that top 3 and you'll be there almost forever unless you totally screw up. And I'm pretty sure anybody who's in here that's been at it for a while knows that in a new query space, in a new industry, in a new market, if you get locked into that top 3 in the first couple of years, it's real hard to get you out of there.
Definitely. I mean, there's also quite a neat little Chrome add-on. I don't know if you've heard of it, called SERPworks. I think it's like a paid feature. I think it's about $9 a month or something, but it's brilliant to give you an oversight of all the top competitors. It literally lists all the results, so you don't really have to go and check each page individually in certain applications. It just gives you like an overall view, so your mind already can.
And again, my only point I would give to that, which I think is good, it's great to look at stuff like that. It's just a correlation versus causation issue that you got to always watch. You know what I mean? Because there's always more to it. You know, but yeah, understanding your competitors is huge, and that's one of the first things I do with any new client is you know, I do a competitor analysis and I do an audit. You know what I mean? That's 2 of the first things coming in the door. I want to know who I'm up against, and I want to know what I can fix on the site. You know what I mean? So I can agree with that to an extent. Just don't take it as, you know, gospel.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know. But I don't know. End of the day, any of you folks, you guys think that this is something to be like? Is it another Barry Schwartz no news is news kind of thing? Because I'm not jumping off a bridge about it, and I'm not. The sky's not falling. So
be nice to Barry. I mean, sometimes some of the.
I'm always nice to Barry. I talk to him almost every day. I'm busy building him a video introduction because he didn't like the one he made. So I went off to him and I helped him out and I sent him a bunch of shit from Video Hive and I'm making him a goddamn fucking video intro. I love Barry. Well, I'm allowed to bust his balls and everyone's balls and everyone gets to bust mine. You know how we roll, bro.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was talking to Barry this morning on email and on Facebook.
So on the same subject, how are we feeling about AMP pages compared to responsive? Are we? I mean, so far I've been taking away.
Hey, do we buy? Anybody want to buy some domains with Bitcoin?
Okay, so my personal perspective at the moment, and I'd love to get Mr. Steve G in on this one. He's my voice of reason. My personal perspective is smaller clients, I'm not as concerned about AMP because that's still placed into authority and because that's carousel stuff and that's stuff that's gonna, you know, it's like a local pack. You may or may not get in there. Responsiveness and site speed and things like that not only can be useful for Google, but it's also good for your users and conversions and shit like that. So, I mean, I'm still more focused on overall, you know, site speed than I am about AMP stuff. And Steve, if you'd like to chime in on that one, I'm sure you got an opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. We most of the clients that I work with don't even have the budget to work on regular site speed, let alone build an AMP platform for their site. Even if it is just the WordPress plugin, they just don't want to mess with it. They don't have time. They don't have money, and it's not something that's going to affect them very much if they do it anyway, because the, you know, niches that they're in.
Yeah, so you know, it is really, you know, I mean, now if I'm, you know, I'm also consulting to some larger firms and stuff, so that's something I, you know, I'll broach upon because they'll probably qualify to get into some carousels and different things like that they can get into, and I'm sure, you know, Paisley, there, most of your clients, I'm sure, benefit a lot from AMP, don't they? Like they've got the kind of authority that can use that stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, totally. We did one day. We took for one client. I can't tell you anything about who they are. We
already know that, Steve. Stop saying it every week.
All right, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So I took 5 AMP pages, and they all showed up above everything else from the client's website the next day.
Nice.
Right. So Doc, what is the answer, Doc?
What is the answer?
It depends.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
TBD.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Nuggets is always the answer.
But I also agree with what you're saying. You know, the ROI isn't there for the small guys typically.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to recommend something just because the guy has got his tax refund back and wants to spend some money. If there's no ROI there, it doesn't make any sense. And I have yet to have a client that I felt really could justify the expense of setting up AMP.
Yeah, to a degree, it's just another, you know, SEO buzzword, and you know, Google will spit something out its butthole in the next 6 months that we'll all be talking about then. You know, I mean, it's still not something that I generally tell smaller budget clients to worry about or smaller niche clients to worry about. You know, I mean, in my bigger authority domains that I do consulting for, sure, that's a discussion on just Steve would, but no, I'm more. To your question, I'm more worried about site speed and things like that. And again, if you can focus your clients on the reason for doing that is about conversions, is about, you know, UX, and that's all the better, because, you know, really, it's, if you're doing it just for Google, you know, I got a mentor in this room, and that's Steve, and he, you know, when I met him, he picked me up in 2003 and helped me a lot and taught me a lot and still does. You know, he always used to give me the old, you know, don't focus on Google. And I still to this day believe that.
Well, and
I mean, a lot of things that you're doing, regardless if you think you're doing it for Google, if you're stop and think about it, you're doing it for the end user of that website, for your clients' customers and their consumers. Like, you know, like, and if you focus on that, I think a lot of the times you'll be fine with Google, and if you just actually go that direction. I know it's stupid to say as an SEO, but
well, and, you know, I do most of my work is on WordPress sites, and I have yet to find any WordPress site that I can't get to load in under 2 seconds, even with a lot of imagery. You know, so if I can hit 2.5 seconds, okay, I don't need it.
In all fairness, though, Doc, I'm going to put this out there. I don't delve around in that as much as you, because Tanya does all that stuff, and so do you. But that's the child teams and stuff more than it is WordPress itself out of the box, right?
Well, I mean, I always use a child theme, but
well, that's
even
so
even if you're just using it out of the box with one of their standard stock, you know, 2017 theme or something, I've got a couple sites right now running on 2017 that are loading in 1.4 seconds.
I was looking at some stuff yesterday, because Simon's got that new tool he's had me playing with, and it's really cool, guys. And when he finally brings it to market, it's gonna be awesome. But I was sitting around Tanya last night, and I was looking at, I stuffed a bunch of competitors in for one of my clients, and I was looking at it, and I was like, well, why this and why that? Like, there was, like, you know, Google fonts and this and that and all this shit being pulled in. And she's like, well, yeah, it doesn't matter if they're using it. that's just the theme that's pulling all this crap in, right? And so, you know, the themes are often so bloated with stuff that you might use someday that's actually going to affect your response rate. So.
And Google Fonts is a good example because that's a pretty large file. And
right. If you're not using Google Fonts in your backend, it's kind of pointless, but the theme's pulling it anyways. Yeah.
It's just like there's an awful lot of places everybody says, you know, don't use inline CSS. Always stay away from inline. And that's not good advice. There are instances when you're better off with inline.
I didn't even see you in here, Josh. How's it going, buddy?
Hi, guys.
Josh? Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Man, you're back in the wild, buddy.
It must be the end of the world because I just agreed with something Doc Sheldon said.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
No, well, Doc Sheldon's totally right. Google Fonts take such a long time to load, and
it's the Divi. Like a lot of these ones we were looking at, dude, were Divi themes. And like I said, actually, if you want, Josh, hit me up on Skype later. I'll give you access to this tool. You probably like it. But yeah, it shows you this tool that Buddy's building. Shows you all the technologies being pulled in on a given website, right? Little icons, and you hover over and it tells you what it is. And some of the shit's so bloated with stuff that these themes are pulling in that it's weighing sites down, even if they aren't using them in the back end.
Yeah, what's his name? J.R. Oakes, I think, just tweeted out another tool to see all the code that's being loaded that's not being used. That was really cool as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man.
I can
and it's rampant out there, man.
So
it's crazy.
Here's a question for Doc: If you build a child theme and start stripping some of that out,
you'll probably break it, and then the next time it updates, it's definitely going to be broken.
Well,
that's your juggling act, though, because now let's say a security update comes out for that theme. Now you got to go bring that theme in and then go strip all that out again. And so, have you accounted for that when you're pricing to your client as far as upkeep goes?
You're missing the point, Dave. You're using not a main theme. You leave the main theme alone, and you create a child, and you strip the stuff out of the child, not the main theme. And does the child then load faster?
Oh, well, if you do it right, certainly. Yeah, because there's an awful lot of that garbage out of the box in a lot of themes, especially custom themes, that is tremendously bloated. You can get rid of so much. I took a custom theme. The client was adamant, this is the one I want to use. He just paid $89 for this thing. This thing had 3,700 lines, okay, out of the box. I got it down to 229, 227, something like that, lines. And
right.
Right out of the box, the home page was loading in like 17.5 seconds. Now it's loading in sometimes under a second, usually under a second and a quarter.
Absolutely. You get code bloat, right? And so it's the age-old problem, regardless if it's web development or not, of convenience versus effectiveness and so on and so on. Like you start to get this, and I see it all the time. It's just. People are just, well, it's convenient, let's do that. But now you've got a problem on the back, which really costs you, which is more costly. Like people think on the front end of a situation that they're saving money by getting this effectiveness. But at the end of the day, when you got to go pay someone like us or a web developer, someone to go start stripping this shit down for whatever, $150 an hour, are you really saving money when you go that route? You know what I mean? Like it's always that sort of argument.
To answer your question, Steve, yeah, you can make a tremendous difference by going and cleaning those things up. And and the beauty, of course, Dave, is if you're using a child theme, then updates don't mean squat.
No, I meant updates to the theme, though. Like we've added this functionality, this and that, Like people, you
don't implement those.
That's more what I was implying. Not core WordPress theme. Sorry, not a core WordPress update. I was actually talking about theme updates that do happen.
Well, yeah, but with a child theme, again, let's say that you take 2017 and you build a child theme and you import the 2017 structure into your child. Now, if 2017 updates, it will not affect any changes that you made in the child theme.
Okay, all right, gotcha. No, again, I defer to you and Tanya and stuff on that.
That's kind of the whole point of the child.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, can we go back to something I know? Making me feel bad here, people. Making me look bad. I don't like you guys anymore.
Doc,
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yes. What's that?
Yost
Oh God, this has got to be a trick question.
Pack.
Yeah, it's gotta be a trick question. You know, Steve's already got the answer. He's just asking.
He's gonna rub my face in something.
Yoast or all-in-one SEO pack, Doc?
Neither. WPMU is
you
gonna
know-
have a really new good one soon. When that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, actually, I use Yoast, but I don't use it as it comes. I get in there and I trim a lot of the crap out of there. But in all probability, if I had to use one out of the box, if I had to use one out of the box, I would probably go with all-in-one.
I love him, and I
love Doc.
Yeah. No, okay. Now, Steve, this has been a discussion because there's some other stuff I can't discuss in the air. I'll talk to you in the green room afterwards. But I love Youst, and I've known him for 15 whatever years, and I just think he started mailing it in at some point, and it's just not kept up with the times. You know what I mean? I know it's what everyone uses and focuses on, but
well, the other thing, Dave,
I tried to talk to him a while back on Facebook, and I think he's just mailed it in. I think he's checked out. So whatever.
The other problem with that, Dave, is that he's gone the same route that WordPress did with Jetpack. When they first came out with Jetpack, it had 11 plugins baked into it. Now it's got like 56. Okay, he's done the same thing, but not even as artfully as they did. He just keeps pulling all these different functions in there, and he's got the goddamn thing now. It's the size of a Mac truck.
Well, all I can say to everyone in the SEO world is something better is on the horizon, and I guess we'll leave it there.
I just pasted it in the chat. Did you guys see this thing? I was not. J.R. Oaks did a different one on Twitter. He did the code hack where you can see all of the document object models that Googlebot requested. Did you guys see that one too?
No, I did not actually.
It's actually
WordFence. Oh, geez, I love fucking WordFence.
Pretty fascinating. Do you want to put in the? Apparently, this works for Chrome. Sean Thomas Larkin put this out. If you hit Command Shift P or Control Shift P if you're on a window, then type Show Coverage and hit Enter. And apparently, in that Coverage tab, if you reload the page,
that's the element bullshit in Chrome.
That's been there forever. But apparently, it'll tell you everything that's not being loaded.
Yeah, it's done that shit forever with elements.
Yeah.
They're also colored red on the right side, dude. You don't have to do. You can also go look on
in the code inspector in Command Alt.
That's what the color red means, dude. It's worthless code.
Right. That's what the color red means bad.
Yeah, red is generally not a good thing in life. Yeah,
red.
If you want to go a step farther, get Chrome Canary, and there's some extra tools in that same area.
There's got to be a way to pull it automatically, though. Like, why do you have to? Because you still have to manually go into the JavaScript and start pulling stuff out from that screen. There's got to be a way to manually do it. Automatically.
Wait, let's answer your question first. How does Google know that that code is useless? Because Chrome's already downloaded it and told Google, hey, this shit's useless.
Right.
So that's how it already knows. So it's not necessarily anything that's doing. It's something that's already done. When the page loads Chrome, Chrome says, hey, Google, give me a list of shitty useless code. Oh, here, it's red.
Oh, well, okay, hold on a second. You're claiming that Google... You're claiming it's not Chrome, the browser, the user agent, which is processing this on load. You're claiming that Google already has a database of all the code we have that doesn't work and that Chrome is accessing that?
Well, no, I wouldn't doubt that, to be honest.
With your first part.
And people tell me I wear a tinfoil hat?
You do, Josh, but whatever.
Okay, listen.
Well, I'm wearing it right now. That's why don't have my camera on.
You, man. Well, send me a make me one. Send it, buddy.
Okay, because here's the thing. Once Chrome gets that information, if I can get that information for Chrome, okay, what makes you think Google is not recording that information and using it to improve their product?
Well, I didn't disagree with that. That's
all I'm saying.
That's exactly what that leads right into what J.R. Oaks did. Here, let me share my screen. I'll show you some of the stuff that I don't know if David wants me to share my screen. Trust me, it won't be anything.
No, dude,
but
I got it. I've already locked you in. Go ahead. I already locked you in. Oh, you're good.
Do you see this here?
Yep, we got it.
So apparently this is all the document object model stuff that Googlebot loads. So for example, a Facebook page URL, I find that very interesting.
What's Fontomaster? You follow Fontomaster?
Oh, I've heard the name.
Phantomaster, buddy.
Phantomaster.
I love that guy. I've known him for like I've known him forever. I love that guy, man. He's great.
A decade ago, Phantomaster shit, dude.
Yeah, he's very smart.
Get in. Go look at Phantomaster. I will guarantee you, he will connect a shitload of dots for you.
He's a good guy.
So you guys have already been tracking this.
He's smart and humble, but yeah.
A decade ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I thought Googlebot was supposed to be Chrome, but it says it's Mozilla with Gecko on Linux, and Netscape is the app name.
It depends on what your
Netscape.
what is your site composition of? How many places do you have it indexed? Is that the mobile device index, or is that desktop device index?
That's desktop. That's desktop.
Desktop, dude.
That's
right.
desktop.
I know, but you understand what I'm saying? The thing is, there's a lot of things where
user agent's going to change what you're looking at for sure.
In real life, the biggest factor in Google search that nobody talks about is the differences between the information gathered by different user agents.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're right. No one talks about it. It's something, I always look at and stuff, but you're right. It's not a commonly had discussion for sure.
I mean, right here, if you wanted to block Googlebot, it'd be super easy. Just anyone on Linux running Netscape, just block them. Right? Unless you're running a Linux.
Wait a minute. All my egg drop bots.
Unless you're running a Linux code repository or something, I mean, that's going to be like 0.001% of your traffic, on like an affiliate site or something. So I found that, I don't know, I guess I'm late to the party, but I found this code output pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I see Terry's here. Now we're all in trouble.
Well, see, the thing is...
Well, no. Okay, I just want to do something before we go any fucking further. All right. You and me talked last week, Josh, and you showed up back on the radar, and my fucking inboxes across the web started filling up. It's Josh. And no matter what anyone barked, Terry is Terry. Terry is himself, and he doesn't follow cliques and doesn't follow crowds. And even in the private group I was in talking to at the time, Terry shit on a whole bunch of people and said that Josh probably knows. Okay, so someone said, Josh says he knows more about SEO than 99% of the people out there. And they were trying to chop your ass. And Terry jumped right on it and said, he probably fucking does. So
I'll pay you that $100 later, Terry.
That was to recall the comment, that was 7,300 plus members of that group combined.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
combined.
but that group, dude, look at the group you're talking about, Doc. I know more than 99% of that fucking group does. So,
yeah, but again, you remember who else was in that group? I mean, there was 8 or 10 of us in there with probably a couple of centuries.
Well, you're the 1%ers. You're the 1%ers, man. I'll get a little biker jacket and send it to you.
No, but we're still in that combined. I mean,
hey, we're not going to go there. We'll do that in the green room afterwards. I just wanted to throw a little love out. The reason I got Terry in here because Terry does actually, as do I, have respect for Josh.
Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Terry's regretting it now. He's not saying anything.
Yeah. Well, if Terry's not saying anything, it means he's probably having a stroke or an aneurysm. So.
All I said was that, you're probably smarter than 99%. Well, I don't think much of that other 99%. So.
No, wait a minute. What have I achieved here?
I think that's called
No, okay. Here,
I think the appropriate question, Josh, is where do we rank you in that 1%?
I'm willing to bet it's going to be low.
No.
Here's my problem, and this is a general thing for the SEO industry, is that I don't think we proceed with enough evidence. I think there's
well, it's not no, but it's not even evidence. It's common. It's what I would say common knowledge. Okay, again, you have your perspective from the way you dig into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I approach things kind of like Bill does from. you know, again, like I've said 1,000 times, and I'll say it again, is that, you know, to me, an SEO that doesn't know information retrieval is like a fucking web designer doesn't know HTML. Now, again, I appreciate that nobody sits around reading patents and papers like I do and Bill does and whatever, but not to even understand the core elements and the things that make, you know, like I sat around with Doc last year when the rank brain thing was going on, and him and I were sitting around looking at word vectors and shit like that. And Terry and I over the years have talked all kinds of fucking information retrieval and things like that. You know, it's to a degree, and I know Steve Gerenser, you know, and obviously Plunkett know their way around what happens in information retrieval and how things work. You don't have to read a patent for that. You can read stuff and use your own brain and whatever. And obviously Steve, his wife is very, you know, they must have some interesting dinner conversations. I can only fucking imagine.
These guys have kids. They must be really bored.
Well, no, his wife's extremely intelligent as well. So, but my point being is that a large, huge, massive percentage of the SEO industry is pretty much clueless. All they know how to do is really spam.
True.
You know what I mean? They call it over-optimizing. I had that argument this week in one of those groups.
Wait, growth hacking or content marketing?
No, this is worse, dude. This is not, but that's relatively new. I was having this argument again this week in one of those groups, and someone called it over-optimization. I said, well, that's not a thing. He's like, what do you mean? And everyone talks about it. I was like, well, because what SEOs say, I over-optimized that title tag. What they're actually saying is I spammed a bunch of keywords in it. I over-optimized the links profile. Well, you spammed it. Literally, when an SEO says over-optimized, what he really says is spamming. And then in information retrieval terms, what you're doing is fucking spamming the engine. You're not over-optimizing, because I'm pretty sure if you go to Google and type in the word optimize, it's optimal. So optimal means
it's an oxymoron. Yeah, it's an oxymoron.
You can't fucking over-optimize anything. So no, it's just an SEO colloquialism for fucking spamming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, they just don't, and that's fair and whatever. And we got a low bar entry in this industry, and they come and they go, and you know, the guys like you I've known for 10, 15 years, and how many people we've seen come and go in that time? Fucking tens of thousands.
I've seen so many SEOs disappear. I don't know what you guys think. I know what you guys think about Barry Schwartz and how scientific his polls are, but he still did a poll. He still did a poll recently that 60% of the people who voted, and it was a couple, 4,000 or 5,000 people, were moving away from SEO. 10% were dropping it entirely.
Well, it's because they don't get it. Again, how long can you do a job you don't understand? Eventually, you're going to sit there and look in the mirror and go, okay, I'm fucking useless at this.
I better go do AdWords, I guess.
Yeah, go. No, they all went to fucking content marketing, and before that, inbound marketing, and of course, the big one, social media, because I can tweet all day, because they don't understand how a search engine works. And you can't, going back to your point about testing and experimenting, I prefer the term experimenting, because testing is, you know, a little more rigorous. But how do you test something you don't know? Like, you know, I remember when Bill and I finally stopped talking to Rand about like his annual ranking thing. You know, Bill and I were talking privately, and it was like, you're asking us questions from an SEO perspective about a search engine that is computer science and information retrieval. You're not using terminology. You're not using how a search engine works. So how is any of these assholes going to give you information for your ranking factor study when they don't even understand how a search engine works? They don't. Not a clue.
I don't know.
Not a fucking clue.
I have to argue with that a bit, because I'll use an analogy. It's like you guys are doing string theory. They're doing dark matter physics. And yeah, both of you are talking about the
even more simplistically, question. One of the most basic things that someone like Bill and me understand is every query space, well, not every, sorry, but query spaces are treated differently. You know, you could talk your money or your life stuff, or you could talk markets, or you could talk temporality.
People were asking, what does YMYL mean? What is that? Chase is like, well, it comes from this. I'm like, dude, that came from the Quality Raiders guidelines like 15 years ago.
Right.
Okay, never mind.
Well, no, the first one was 2009, and I have them all. I have the collection. But yeah, again.
Yes, I just
literally is treating things differently.
Spam
based upon where you are, what you're doing. Sorry.
So how many people know what I just did?
What did you just do? I wasn't paying attention there, Steve.
You respirated. You cell metabolized.
No, I reported a Google result to spam report.
Ooh, Who are you trying to negative SEO?
Well, that'll go far, I'm sure.
Oh no! You didn't see it, right? Okay, so right here, what's wrong with it? The robots.txt file is blocking. So why do we have Google Optimize here with no information? It's a bad search experience. So at this point, we report the spam, and we tell them that we want to change stuff.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just send Danny or someone an email? I guess the spam report thing's got some Indians that are not really giving a shit. So
I wouldn't hold your breath.
Yeah.
Changing the search.
I never have a problem. Usually my spam reports show up automatically because I'm using Matt's tool. And at some point, Matt actually told me that I was the one human that reported the most spam. So I think a lot of my edits go through.
Well, really, you beat Joe Whalen? That's impressive.
What?
I need to get your email address in case I want to do some negative SEO at this point.
Oh, really? Negative SEO?
That was funny.
I said in case, theoretically speaking, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Well, it's called online information management. Let me know how you want to do it. I used to do it for everybody.
Oh, well, I occasionally have a client.
I'm not.
I occasionally have a client who wants to do something.
We're in about 46 minutes, and so we got, we usually go an hour or two, but I would like to throw some guys at you, and it's really only because I'm a fan of algorithms and how they work, and I've been abusing them. And this is actually more social than it's going to be SEO. But again, to me, all things are related, because to say that PR isn't SEO is to negate the fact that when you have a good PR team, they surface content which gets you links. So that's still SEO. So to me, social works a lot in that way, in the sense that I train social teams to surface content that when it gets out there, gets linked and whatever. And of course, I have an ulterior motive because a friend of mine's now working at NBC. He's one of the heads at NBC for whatever fucking Washington DC channel. And so him and his team are having this conversation yesterday, and I told him, I said I would get some bright minds together and talk about it. And unfortunately, I just got you guys, but I'll try anyways. That's for the Nuggets, boys. That was for the Nuggets. All right, so Facebook has made another cash grab, and so all the time that we spent with our clients trying to help them manipulate the Facebook algorithms to surface content better with our company's company pages is now going to get chopped at the fucking knees, and we're going to have to pay to get people to look at it.
Okay, here's the way to optimize for the Facebook algorithm. Pay some fucking money.
Yeah, well, that's it. And, okay, no. I already got a couple of ways. So what I'm after is if anyone has any interesting ideas. All right, so I'll throw what I got so far to fight with this shit and take it from there. So essentially, for anyone listening or not familiar, what's going to happen is, well, it's been happening over the years, but it's going to be, now that they're actually making statements, and it's not just, seeing it in the background, is that essentially for the users, Facebook isn't going to be surfacing stuff from your company pages as much anymore. And which means, like, again, this has been slowly getting chopped away. Terry, you know this. You and I have talked about this a lot. They've been chopping away at that for years. But now I figure when they make a public statement, it's going to get much worse. So it's a cash grab. They're going pushing people to boosting posts and shit like that. So I got a few things. The first one's easy. The first one's the easy one, Steve, and something I know very well is groups. So first, he had a meeting with his social team yesterday, and it's through NBC, you know what I mean? It's a fairly, obviously, well-known news corporation. So one of the first things that, he came to me this morning at like 6:30, and I said, well, one of the first things you do is create a group, and play the Facebook angle. Tell your Facebook followers on your company page that we are creating a group to encourage our users to have a better experience so you can engage with each other and this and that. Because Facebook groups shit will still show up on your timeline. So you can push shit through that way. Well, obviously, number 2 is going to be on your site itself, encouraging people to share and stuff and make that more prominent, and maybe some tag manager and stuff like that too, and watch your conversion elements of that and making sure that people are pushing more and play with that shit. I saw someone in the conversion forum I'm in the other day saying they added the word please to something, it doubled the conversion rate. Please share this as opposed to share this. Doubled it. So stuff like that. And the third thing I thought about, and again, this is like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like half awake, The third thing I said to him, I said, if you got mailing lists, beat the shit out of those. You know what I mean? Start adding a section to your mailing list on your daily, weekly, whatever, saying our latest posts on Facebook in hopes that someone's going to share it. So that's my 3 ideas. Is anybody else got some ways that you think might be some way to combat this need that Facebook's pushing businesses towards paying for shit?
Number 1, pay money. Number 2.
Okay, I just said ways to combat it without paying fucking money.
Okay, number 1, do your campaigns on Twitter and elsewhere. Okay, Facebook, let them go to hell. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Hashtag no Facebook. Another way to do it is to use Facebook video. Okay, they're going to give video preference over that. Okay.
No, but even if it's from a company page, I don't know if that's going to happen anymore.
Good question.
I mean, organically, not paid shit. I mean, like, you know.
Here's the third thing to test out with this new.
Now, this is a week old, so I really don't have any data or anything.
Okay. So as you do your test, the third thing you want to test is how do applications, meaning like if I post to Twitter and it posts to Facebook, if I post to Instagram and it posts to Facebook, how are those connected appliances posting to Facebook? Are they more preferential than, say, a group or a page or organic post from someone outside your friend list? Make sense?
Well, see, the group thing I like because regardless, anybody in your, group or your friends list, especially someone in your group that's on your friends list, that's going to surface on your timeline. You know what I mean? And so that's my I haven't really played with this until now because I just got approached with this recently because it was like a week ago this started happening. But
I got to agree with Steve. It's going to cost money. Either you got to make some.
Yeah, well, I know that. I'm just trying to find ways to supplement that. You know what I mean?
You got to make some videos that are so unbelievably interesting and viral that they're going to share them, which costs money for production because the good videos aren't cheap, right? Or a photo campaign. I've done photo campaigns for clients, which people seem to like. You just got to hit the culture the right way. Just hit their pain point.
So do you think creative minds? You know what I mean? Like I look at guys like you and what's his name? Fucking that English feller. I'm always talking about. Anyways, I know some creative minds that are really good with that kind of grab your eyes kind of stuff. So you're saying those guys are at a premium now?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I mean, again, at the end of the day, I have to agree with Steve that Facebook really is just pay to play, and they're really just going to be expecting you to start building your network through paying. Oh my God, what is Stormy Daniels doing on your screen back there?
Oh God, yeah, that's like CNBC.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought it was a different website.
No, that's CNBC. No, look.
Boom.
So did it go away? Anyways. Nope, it's still there. Okay. They haven't updated yet. But the answer is they reply back. And so theoretically, let's see if Google removes their own thing or we see that the robot's text file is updated by next week. How about that?
My best response is 14 minutes or 4 minutes from John Mueller. That's about it. You're muted. You're muted there, Steve.
I think the thing is I want to see if somebody actually removes it from the listings or somebody updates the robot's text file.
So this is a Google property that's roboted out. You're saying?
Yeah, it's Google optimized, optimize.google.com.
I see.
It's roboted out. And so at this point, I've basically submitted a spam report requesting a robots.txt file.
Right.
So they'll remove it if it's an automated machine and it'll remove its own thing. Or B, they'll actually have somebody update the robots.txt file.
I would imagine the latter is going to happen.
We'll see. We'll know next week, won't we?
It's an experiment. Ooh.
Always.
Yeah. So David seems to be MIA.
Okay. When we were talking about voice stuff, that was what he posted like 2 hours ago before the meeting. So Who here's doing stuff in voice? Raise your hand.
I'm not.
Nobody?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so here's I had a little thing before. Well, what I'm doing, working on the book, I work for somebody some stuff. So there's an eye doctor in New Jersey, right? And basically, if I wanted LASIK surgery in New Jersey, I would go to Google and say, okay, Google, give me eye surgeons that perform LASIK in New Jersey, right? And so what happens is the only thing it's going to give is the top 3. So how am I going to impact that for that client? I'm going to have to go to the map pack in desktop and in mobile, compare those two, and then move the map listing for the client up to number 3 in mobile and desktop. Then at that point, my voice search results, that client will then be in the top 3 for the voice results for eye surgeons to do LASIK in New Jersey. Follow me? Questions? Sorry, Dave, I just jumped in. You were gone. I knew you wanted to talk about voice, so I started the conversation.
Well, that's it. I mean, what are you saying? I mean, that's kind of self-evident, isn't it?
Well, I'm just saying, feedback, thoughts. How are you guys doing it? Here's a reason why I had to do it. What other things have you guys figured out with voice? I play with voice all the time.
Let me ask you this. So a few weeks ago, I didn't think much about voice because I thought for sure some algorithm there is going to be parsing out the words near me and just inserting whatever is actually near you, like Victoria, BC for me. I'm up in Victoria. And I didn't think that you could actually optimize for the keywords LASIK surgery near me. But a few weeks ago, a few months ago now, a black hat who was on my show, White Hat versus Black Hat, he was actually optimizing for the keywords, whatever it was, Baltimore, Maryland, whatever it was. It was chiropractic, Baltimore, chiropractic near me. And then it had Baltimore, Maryland all over the place. He was trying to actually, he had near me in the title. He was actually trying to hit those keywords. And I don't think it's going to work that way.
No, not going to work that way, buddy. It's funny enough, because I don't know if it was Chase's group that you're in with me or one of the other ones, but someone was talking about that, and I was like, no, it doesn't quite work like that.
Near me does need to bring up different results than what you get in local.
Well, if anything, Terry, you're just wasting very valuable space in your title tag, aren't you? Really? You know what I mean? Like, you could be doing some other stuff with it, so.
You don't put it in the title tag, but if you put the NAP, the zip code.
The NAP and stuff, you can fuck with the NAP and shit, but, a title tag or trying to rank, using the terms like that, no. That's just a waste of.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of data.
For automobile dealerships, for a particular manufacturer, okay? On there, and I'm just.
Oh, yeah, because I'm going to Kevin after this one, so go right ahead.
Right. Well, Kevin's got the whole thing, but it's basically let's say I work for an automobile manufacturer. No, I can't say that. Okay, let's say if I was an automobile manufacturer, I would take my local pages for every single one of my branded dealerships, and
I've been there.
The GPS and the zip codes, the main zip code and the title tag, and then I would find a way to insert a table either via PDF or.
But I would only do that on an initial basis. Once you've locked them in, dude, I've been in that exact place, and once you've locked them in, you can actually take it out and do other things with that tag. I mean, you just got to lock it into Google, and its memory is long, and once you've got it in there, then you can switch it out and go about your business. But yeah, I've done that.
Putting dealership near me, the last thing in the title tag on every single page for an automobile manufacturer actually works.
No,
it's possible.
Yes, it does.
I can't say. That's it. Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
One of the things that it'll be probably in the next 3 months or so that we put hundreds of thousands of keywords through to try to see if the near me, what that was doing. And when that analysis comes back, you'll be surprised to see that it's not doing what you think it's doing. And it's not really impacting the way that people thought it was. So we've been trying to get most of our dealers away from that standpoint, because it to quote Google and to quote the conversation you were having with Flywise before, it's a tiny percentage of things
Right.
where it impacts that, and not enough that it's worth changing.
And again, I got to think, Kevin, you can tell me, but I got to think sustainability as well, because I think, again, watching my children who are 18 years old and young adults, and I think over time they don't even use keywords like that anymore. They assume that Google's going to give you something near you, and on
right. That was
like
I think in the beginning when mobile first.
Term's going to be a thing in a couple of years, if it even is now. So.
Right, mobile. You don't even need to type in near me, because you're with the mobile first algorithm or the mobile first ranking.
And the next generation of searchers already get that. They get it. It's,
like the local search is near me. It's redundant.
That's what I mean. Google,
it's redundant.
I'm pretty sure that I heard a rep say that SEOs talking about near me are totally wrong. It doesn't affect.
And that's what we tried to do. One of the things that we did in our keyword study.
Yeah, and I wouldn't think it would, Terry, because again, Google is training people, and they always have. They've trained us all. Do you guys remember 15 years ago when we used to sit around and talk about, 2-word queries are the most popular, 3-word queries, and then it all started reversing, and then all of a sudden 4- and 5-word queries. I think that's starting to work back down again when I, watch young people search, or I ask young people to search so I can watch them and whatever. That there's almost a presumptiveness about Google being able to figure shit out.
Well,
I don't think that that's where we're going in the end of the day.
I think you're right, Dave, because when you're on a mobile device, near me is implied. When I'm looking for Walmart,
right, and again, I watch young people do it, and they don't even think about that. That's wouldn't even enter their mind.
Nobody says near me. Near me just means there's location specific.
Well, if I call you an asshole and you slap me in the head, by the 4th time I do it and you slap me in the head, I get the picture and I don't have to call you an asshole anymore because I'm going to get slapped in the head.
Because local listings are decided by distance from the user and location of the brand, how can near me affect the results?
Right. The only time I could see it mattering is if I'm sitting in Dallas and I want to know about car dealerships in Baltimore, and I typed in Baltimore car dealerships near me, but then it wouldn't even matter because if Google's giving me the response, I don't know if I just or Steve did.
Terry got on mute, Steve, before he could hear you.
You didn't get that, Terry?
No.
No.
No, it's kind of you were doing the cyborg thing.
Oh, really? Okay, so basically, realize, Terry, if I've got, say, a desktop page for an automobile dealership, and let's say they also happen to want to link it to the dealer's location page. Okay, that also has a link for a mobile-friendly link for that mobile page. That mobile page is then in Google's My Business database as the link for the mobile-specific destination for that link within Google Maps. You've connected the 2 dots, and if near me's on the page, you can impact that. But nobody says near me. Near me is implied already. Near me is just a trigger for local-specific information is contained on this page.
Okay. So I just ran a test. So I ran Baltimore car dealerships. As you can see, this is results in Baltimore, all Baltimore stuff. And then I did Baltimore car dealerships near me. And this is Victoria, BC here. This is Langford Lake. I live very close to there. That's where you send the bombs if you want to get me. You're close to Langford Lake. And the map pack is local, but look, it's still giving me, I think, Baltimore results.
Right, which would make sense.
I was wondering why that pipe bomb
last week, buddy. Only correlates to local.
Thanks, Josh.
I went and said that pipe bomb, and I was like, "How the fuck is he in this hangout?"
I'm sneaky. You'll never get me.
I know, man. You're a greasy little motherfucker, aren't you?
We're all living up in the mountains out here like preppers. I got chickens and everything.
From Baltimore gets you to search Baltimore.
So it looks like Baltimore car dealerships near me. The map pack is actually near me. And when I was typing it in, it was interesting because the look at the near me Baltimore, used car dealerships near me Baltimore. So people are obviously typing it in. I mean, this is just really a keyword research matter. You have to do keyword research on a regular basis to see what people actually type in because it changes.
Right, and that's sort of I feel bad.
And again, like Terry and I, once upon a time, we did, like, what was that? I don't know, 07, 08, or 09. I don't fucking know, Terry. We did that personalized research stuff.
Yeah.
You also got to, like, literally find people in that region and send them queries and ask them to send you fucking screenshots and shit back. You know what I mean? And are you logged in, logged out? Like, Terry and I were having people in a region, different regions around the states, doing various queries, somewhat generalized queries, and we were having to do it logged in, logged out, blah blah blah, so on and so on. You know what I mean? Like it.
So here's the
people think what they're doing. Like I'm sitting in Canada and I'm working for companies in the States and the UK and stuff. I have to at some point reach out and find people to help me with that data.
I think near me just triggers local searches.
Only in MapPack. Yeah, you're right, Terry. Because look, I did Victoria, BC.
That's what. Because who in their right mind is going to search for dealerships in Baltimore near me when they're searching from Victoria?
If you're in Baltimore,
that makes absolutely
and that's the other thing. Is usually, we find that more often than not, you don't search where you are. Like, I don't search for car dealerships in Dallas when I'm in Dallas. I search for car dealerships.
Yeah.
And
right, but the only difference is, Kevin, in the old days, to get just Dallas cars, right? You had to put Dallas in
exactly. But as the algorithm, I guess my point is,
I call that kind of localization.
Yes.
Right. So what they've done is they just localized the whole search. You know where you can see that not happening? Look up for an ambiguous term. You'll see that doesn't happen. That they actually do some really neat stuff with ambiguous queries now. In other words, they know the difference between a Jaguar and Jaguars. Yeah. So if you put Jaguars in, it'll give you the football team results. If you put in Jaguar, it gives you the cat and the dealership with the Jaguar car being number one. And I call it the disambiguation box, right? On the left-hand side, you'll see results about, and that's hooked directly to Wikipedia for disambiguation.
Hey,
here's some interesting things. If you search for apples, it brings up number one result, Apple Corp, even though all the rest of the SERP doesn't include Apple, right? But
no, man, I'd like to see it. Come on. Somebody search for apples on a Android. That'd be fun.
Hey, Terry.
Yeah.
Add the word to what your same line of thinking, right? Add the word new and used. That stasis, you know what I'm talking about? Like Jaguar.
Oh, I didn't think to do that. I didn't modify it any further when I was testing it.
Right, but think about the state of the object, a new, used, for sale, for rent, right? Think about that in terms of your kind of flow chart. Make sense?
Yeah, and I think used, if you put used Jaguars, right, it might not just give you dealerships. It might give you private citizens selling a car with a page too.
It's going to give you map dealerships and no carousel, nothing like that. Whereas, and the only reason I know this is because I've done this shit before, actually. Type in Jaguars, right? Okay, now type in new Jaguars. Okay, I can still get football information. Google isn't fixed yet. So
and you know what's really weird about that too, Steve?
Yeah, but Steve, that's
Steve, that
new Jaguars.
Steve, that could still be a stemming in the sense they're thinking about news Jaguar. You know what I mean? Like they could be a stemming that they're putting in there implicitly. So
well, and honestly, on the mobile device, new Jaguars, the first result is the home of Jaguar USA.
I think your stemming thing, I think you're right. because when I put in news, it goes up to the top. When I put in new singular, Jaguars plural, the news thing is below a map pack.
Yeah, it's just a stemming. Again, that's kind of a symptom of Hummingbird, because Hummingbird was trying to consolidate query, identifications, and so it's just kind of boxing it all together. So.
But how often do you see Google give a different result for a plural over a singular?
Very few. Once upon a time, it was a thing, but again, stemmings like that, they'll, especially post Hummingbird, that doesn't,
Well, not that I've tried this myself, but if you search boob and then you search boobs, there's a very different result.
Let me guess. When you search boob, it shows a picture of you, and when you search boobs, it shows.
You beat us to it. I was like, "There's a picture of Dave on the internet."
Now, I was going to say Trump, but okay, me, sure.
All right, we'll go with that.
Now, here's the thing, though. The image pack in universal search for both terms is exactly the same.
Yeah, and it generally would be, again, like and again, that's a post Hummingbird kind of thing, which is
for
what,
boob versus boobs,
2013 or something. Like, so that's like literally
June 2013.
Ago,
so.
June 2013 is when they released Hummingbird.
Yeah,
Steve,
there you go.
The problem is mobile versus desktop, because like new Jaguars in mobile image search is only cars. It's all cars. There's not a single.
Yeah, because you got that plural. Yeah, new Jaguars.
Yeah. But on the regular result.
Now try Jaguar and Jaguars without the new. That's going to give you something else. Okay, because you got to think, because again, so the only two options Google's got on that is it can throw out the operating system, it can throw out the animal. All it's got is the football team and the cars in its brain, right? So you're gonna have. Are they looking for? Okay, do this. Put Jaguar.
New Jaguars. But here's the weird thing: new Jaguars.
Put new Jaguar, and then put Jaguar new. I bet you'll switch it up, because it's gonna take you looking for the football team news, because it's the second word.
I know. Well,
my automotive thing.
But if you look at new Jaguars, it's really weird in the fact that the first result, I can't show you and look at it at the same time. The first result is a car. The second result is stories about the Jaguars football team.
Right, because they have to. And again, that's again back to Hummingbird.
Universal search.
And then it's funny because you look at results 3 and 4. 3 is from cars.com and 4 is from CBS News about the sports team. So they have literally interlaced the.
Yeah, and again, that's still just a symptom of 2013 fucking Hummingbird shit. And again, like SEOs like to talk about click-through rates. Yeah. And it's not a ranking factor that you can sit there and create a bot to go click shit. It's more of a search quality team thing, that they'll look at those click-through rates and that kind of stuff algorithmically, and then it starts to adjust. It's not, necessarily something you're going to affect. Like, you're not going to,
Well, and
I felt it was when I looked at it, it was a bit like how they put together a universal search. So I think there's pretty heavy click analysis.
And that'll probably change for you too. If you go out and you search like used Jaguar dealership, and you say it's about search tasks. Again, Google also, when they personalize stuff, they look at tasks, right? So if you were went to ESPN and you searched, Jaguar ESPN, and then you put in Jaguar new, it's going to switch that. It's going to change that because of that search task.
That's personalization.
Google's looking at it as a task, as a, you know what I mean? Because then all of a sudden, like literally, I'll bet you, like, again, I'm not in the mood to fucking sit down and do this because I got too much work to do. But if you did that kind of a search task and then your next one was hotels, you'll probably, regardless where you are, get some listings somewhere in that top 10 of hotels down in Florida. Or where's the Jaguars? Yep. California? South Carolina? I don't fucking know.
You're right. Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Right. So, yes. Again, it's going to get not only the search task you just performed, but concurrent search tasks that you do after that. Like, you could literally go and search golf course after searching a bunch of Jaguar news. Search a bunch of Jaguar stuff like that. Go on that search task. Then switch your search task to hotels. You might see one of those. Click on that hotel in wherever the fuck they are, because I'm a hockey guy.
Yeah.
And then the next search task, put in golf courses. I'll bet you somewhere in that top 10 you're going to have a golf course in that region.
Right, eventually, because if I do it just
it's concurrent search tasks that they look at and start to try and
right
and disambiguate and try to adapt to what they think you're doing.
Right, they try to be one step ahead of you, and that has worked for years.
Right,
or that has been there. Well, if you're searching for this, you're searching.
My point is that when I get onto some of these groups and people are talking about how would I rank for this and how I rank for that, it's far more fluid than people think. It's not as straight up as like 10 years ago. And I see some of these people in groups talking about shit that was like 15-year-old concepts, and it's like it doesn't really.
I think we all agree on.
You got to adapt to that.
But we're just doing it different ways. Here we go.
Okay, I just wanted to backtrack on a couple of the things in backwards order. My Jaguar search, new Jaguar. Jaguar's already got 2019 models up there. That's interesting. You guys are putting location in your title tags, right?
Yep.
No, I'm not. But
yeah.
We do
as
a car
opposed to
dealership.
like,
he's a car dealership. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, if you have a bunch of car dealerships and they're in different counties, you put the county name or the town name in it, and wherever you're searching from, Google kind of relates that to near me.
We do it from a city standpoint, but yeah, you can get quite spammy from trying to put it everywhere, but it has the research that I've done and talking with a couple, especially the dudes at Authority Labs, was that it's less about, it used to be proximity to that. It's proximity to the data center. The closest data center that you hit with your search, the closest that you are to that is how they get you sometimes. But we try to stay away from like we wouldn't do the counties in near me. We would just do Dallas or your city that you're in. Sorry, Steve.
Right.
I didn't really answer your question.
Or the city in the middle of the county if the dealership is on a road that runs between two cities.
Right. Usually it's whatever. Well, what we do is we match it to the NAP. So our consistency is the way that we want your certification to, or your not certification, your citation. Good. Your citations to match your NAP, and so your NAP would more than likely match your title tags, and all of that would be your city that you're attached.
Right. So then the other thing, Dave, your Facebook groups. One very interesting thing, or one piece of data that would be interesting to know is how many people turn on their email notifications for groups.
Well, again, if you're trying to encourage to get around this whole pay for play shit, which you're not going to be ultimately, you're going to have to do a bit of it. If you're trying to lessen that load, again, if you got mailing lists or if you've got that page or whatever, if you got push notifications, you need to encourage people to do that. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much you're going to be able to do about it.
Well, I know that I'm just talking from personal experience. I'll have email notifications turned on for groups before I have them turned on for any. Did Dave's bandwidth die?
Did everybody freeze? Felt like everybody froze.
Oh, I hear you.
Back. Yay.
Oh, there we are. Dave's bandwidth died.
Just pissed off Google.
Every time someone new logs in, it picks
Oh, I hear you.
It was that spam report, yo.
Oh, it was Keith. Darn
Oh,
it.
really?
Sorry.
Oh, I hear you.
It was that spam report, yo.
Oh, it was Keith. Darn
Oh,
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta love our hangouts because nobody wants to watch them. They just want to come in and yip at us. I swear to God. Like Kim Krausberg was like, "Oh, I'm trying to get in," and a couple other people were like, "I'm trying to get in." And then I sit here and I watch the viewer numbers drop. They're like, "Oh, I can't get in. I don't want to watch." Because they just can't handle it. They just want to put their 2 cents in.
This is kind of the industry hangout. This is not
Well,
it's not so much for public consumption.
No, fuck no, because they don't get half of what we're talking about, Chase. It goes back to that 99% thing that Terry was talking about. So
I don't know if I should be flattered or insulted that you keep calling me Chase. He's a young, handsome guy.
Oh fuck, Jesus. Did I just do that? Oh my god.
Well, he's young and handsome. I don't know, sure.
Oh fuck no.
I told you he came to a conference up in Victoria.
Like all the love to Chase, and just like you used to mentor him, I am trying my best to help the kid. But no, he's definitely not you.
Well, okay. He came up and he was.
Hey, does it surprise anybody in this room that I found out in my little chat with fucking that Chase is actually come from his world? If you want to blame anyone for Chase, well, we know who to blame.
Hey.
Yeah, it's all Josh's fault. So, I should have seen that, dude. When you told me about that, I should have really recognized that right away, but somehow I didn't put two and two together.
I can take no.
Anyway, so yeah, anybody still watching or anyone watching later? Wednesdays, is it, sir?
Wednesdays, yes.
Or 1 p.m. Eastern, Pacific.
1 p.m. Pacific. Wednesdays, my show, White Hat versus Black Hat. You guys are all
White Hat versus Black Hat. So I shall be going there from now on.
You guys are all invited. So, everyone here, and Doc Sheldon too. Tell him he's invited. It's a friendly, and I emphasis on the word friendly debate show.
Yep.
And
I'll bring Rob Adler with me. He's my favorite Black Hat.
Please.
Him and I love to argue.
Both who to you? Both who to you, baby?
Both who to you, baby? Yeah, me and Rob. I love that guy, man. So anyway, so yeah, I'm regularly on Tuesdays. I'm in Bill Slosky and Em and John's hangout on Tuesdays. And so yes, now I shall be joining Josh on his Wednesday little.
Send me a Black Hat invite. I'll come with the I'll come in disguise. We go do.
Oh, dude, I'll message you when I'm going because I'm going next week. I missed this week because
I'll come in disguise. I'll announce that I'm coming in disguise, and then I'll come in disguise.
Well, I don't know how many people are watching this one, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe people will watch later. I'm sure people will watch later.
Yeah, it's all about me pimping shit later because I cut little pieces out, and I just keep the important shit.
That's actually a good thing to do.
And really, this will get watched later because really, I've only come out of my cave in the last month or so, and all hell shall pay in the coming months. So. Yep.
But I take no credit. I take no credit or blame for Chase.
Chase the invite, and I look forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun. And you'll never get what side of that fence I'll be on, but never guess. Right?
It doesn't really matter. The more we debate it, the more we realize that the distinction is more or less useless.
Oh no, the SEO Dojo, we don't do hats. Fucks up my hair. No, I have one simple fucking thing: is don't do it on client sites without their knowledge and without fully explaining the risks. And the story. I don't give a shit. You use PBNs and spam comment. I don't really give a shit. Just don't do it on a client site without their full and complete knowledge of the risks involved. And the story. So that's why I don't do hats. I really don't care. There's tactics. They're all strategies and tactics to me. So,
yeah, I would say there's less risky and more risky tactics.
Hey, if it's your own site and you're doing affiliate shit, go nuts. I don't care. I knew a guy that fucking ranked, this is like 10, 12, 15 years ago, but he ranked number 2 for Viagra. He made almost $1 million in a year with just selling leads. Happy days, man. Go nuts. SEO can be fun and profitable.
Yeah. Yeah, you also have to keep in mind the length of time that's going to be there.
Oh, it only lasted about 10 months. That was it. But he made some good money in that 10 months.
Yeah, so. Who hasn't had a site that made them ludicrous amounts of money and then suddenly disappeared for whatever reason? Google never caught my affiliate site.
Turn and burn, baby. Turn and burn. Once upon a time, in my career, regardless of what I did for clients, I spent a lot of time on Syndicate. I hang out with Earl Grey. And, I'd like to learn as much as I can. I'm a sponge, man. So.
If you don't break it occasionally, you don't know how far you can go.
Well, that's it. And those guys used to push limits, and that's why I liked hanging out with them because that helps me with my clients knowing what thresholds are. Where are the thresholds, and how do you know when you're getting close to them? That's what I used to hang around Black Hat forums for. So.
Right. Yeah, with the thresholds. But the problem is that I get a lot of questions, and it's hard to advise people if you don't know where those thresholds are either.
Well, in every industry, it's going to be different. It's, the 4 Ps, right? Pills, porn, poker, payday. Totally different than if you're in the, auto insurance market or something,
I don't know.
The thresholds change.
I think automobiles is probably going to get pretty spammy and have some thresholds too. I don't know if.
Well, Terry, you were in Payday for quite a while there, right?
Yeah.
Their threshold is pretty high for shit in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, like real high. You can't. Everybody spams there, so there is no.
Exactly. So as long as you keep below the top spammers, you're pretty safe, right?
When someone asked me to do it, I just said, "Look, I'll do it with PPC for you because I can't optimize this. I won't do the things necessary."
Yeah. No, everyone's got their own personal approach. Yeah, for sure.
You draw the line in hacking.
We all have personal thresholds.
No, I draw the line at spamming and unsustainable techniques.
Yeah, no, I said that, someone brought it up the other day.
A sustainable technique.
It was a conversation recently in the Dojo group on Facebook, and I said it's pretty much the same as you. I don't go there, but if somebody really wants to and they're doing affiliate shit or whatever, I'm more than happy to refer them to someone.
Yeah,
but I just don't have enough soap in my shower to make me feel better after doing it. So,
out of curiosity, what makes you feel bad about spamming?
You want the truth? All right.
Yeah.
Matt cuts and information retrieval. Okay. I met Matt before I met anyone, including Steve, and he was really nice to me and good to me, and we had a relationship for 10 years. And I used to explain it to my wife this way, because I like to cook. And funny enough, I've opened up a cooking group for SEOs. I used to tell my wife it this way, that it's like me sitting around for 5-10 hours in the kitchen making this beautiful meal, and then some fucking dickhead walks in and starts pouring cayenne pepper into everything and whatever, and fucking up all my good work. So yeah, I knew Googlers that really cared about information retrieval. I knew Matt Cutts, and he used to share with me what his real job was. His real job was some nasty shit, dude. Like, rape videos and some really horrible shit that exists on the internet.
Right.
Nothing to do with spamming for fucking auto insurance, believe me. So no, I just, for me, it's just a respect for the index, a respect for information retrieval, and a respect for Google and the art, and that's just me. I just don't like to poison the world. My children have to go out and surf that internet, and so I don't want to be a part of poisoning it. And that's just my personal perspective. Again, when I talk to people in my groups and whatever, I don't throw that out there. I don't stand on my pulpit. I say, do what you want, just don't fuck up a client. But me personally, that's why I need a shower afterwards, because I don't believe in that. And that's just me.
And Terry, you have the same kind of perspective?
Has nothing to do with Google, has nothing to do with ethics. It's what I sell. I sell sustainable SEO. So if I don't think it's sustainable, I don't do it.
And he gets a round of applause.
Yeah, well, fuck you too, Steve. Fuck you too, Steve. I could have said that. Fuck you, man. No, not me anymore.
To me, after the business a while, you realize that that's a zero-sum game. When you spam, you're risking people's businesses.
Hey, no, but we're talking churn and burn, though. Like, there's guys that, dude, there's dashboards that churn and burn fucking new domains and fucking spun content all day long, and that's what these guys do. I mean, they're not risking anyone's business.
Blogs.
I mean, there's churn and burn, and that's respectable. Whatever, you do what you want. I just don't like poisoning the internet. That's just me.
Surely you guys know, I can't mention his name on air, but he was the creator of one of the big black hat linking softwares that was around for a long time.
Yeah. Which is cool. I got no problem with that.
He moved on into completely churn and burn, automated websites that automatically search the keywords, that automatically.
Dude, I know guys that still do that to this day. They're literally pumping out 10 to 20. They have software sitting there pumping out fucking 10, 20 sites a day.
Yeah.
And if they make $50 on one, they don't care because they got 100, and so they're making. That's what they do. That's cool.
To me, that's a lot of work. Too much work.
Shady. I haven't heard of Shady in fucking years. Holy shit, man. That guy was a smart dude. I actually used to spend some private time with him, and he's a nice guy.
That was the era when it was me, you, Bofu, and Shady that we just kind of took over.
Shady was
right.
Awesome. Shady's a smart motherfucker, man, and no two ways about it.
Right.
I love that guy.
But going back to Terry and David's points, surely there's got to be a gray area between spamming the hell out of Google and just tweaking your optimization to get that edge.
Okay, do you know what my gray area is? Is that like most of us, I come from 20 years ago, and once upon a time the internet was the leveler that the small business person could compete and everything else. Then it became just like the rest of the world, that he with the most money wins. And I think that's where at my gray area is that and again, I've done it. I've worked for like Volkswagen and some big brands, and I can go in and make a couple of changes and bam, kick your ass. And that authority and that power took away all that leveling, and so that bugs me, and that the little guy that can't really compete anymore unless you cheat, unless you fuck around, unless you take cut a couple of corners.
Well, Google is not making it any easier when you get quotes from Eric Schmidt, and I quote, "Brands are not the problem, brands are the solution. Brands are how you sort out the cesspool of the internet."
Yeah, because brands are very honest people. They would never fuck the world over and throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at government officials to get their way with fucking lobbying. And that doesn't happen.
Well, that's my point. That's my point, of course.
See, that's my gray area. That's where I once in a while will go, all right, fuck them. If I'm with an SMB, I might cut a corner or two. Yeah, see, that's my gray area.
With the testing that I do and the approach to SEO that I do, if you guys come on the show, you'll see what that is.
I'm coming, buddy.
Good. I'm glad.
I'll be there.
I'm genuinely glad. I think there is still. You're right. It is who has more money.
Yep.
They have an advantage. Obviously, they can buy the $10,000 New York Post link or whatever it is.
They can afford a guy like me as a consultant, and then have a team of 20 fucking SEOs. I could work in the exact opposite with an SMB. How are they competing with that? You're not. I take the Dan T's school of thought, which is you got to attack them on the long tail and elsewhere from the outside. You try to go head to head on head turns and stuff. You don't got the budget. You don't got the money. Ain't gonna happen.
Oh, eventually you will.
Well,
if you do it right, if you do a long T for long enough, you got enough authority, then you can.
Well, sure, but again, that becomes resources
and jumping the shark for that long.
So I do feel that way as well.
But I like to think that there is still an area there for intelligent people who can get an advantage because they're intelligent.
No, I think there's still, just like offline business, I think there still is a place for people that are creative with their product, creative what they're offering, creative with their sales, creative with their customer service. People that really have good ideas and a good product and a good approach and a good USP and everything else. There's still a place for you. There is.
But would you agree it's getting less and less of a place?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you think there's going to come a time when it's going to be basically impossible to rank in Google, like try to brute force rank it, or?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think the AI is going to get that smart?
As long as you're embracing the social aspect of humanity. Because again, humans search Google, and there's no way around that. And so Google's always got to adapt to human beings. So if you understand humans and sociology and evolution, and you're looking on a bigger scale, I think there's always a way for you to find some way to get there. There'll always be, but.
Well, I got this question on my show, and there's Google could never catch black hats.
To be honest with you, the whole move to mobile and local and everything over the last 10 years has given a lot of those smaller businesses power back that they didn't have. You know what I mean?
True.
That is still an inroad.
True. They're saying, well, Google could never catch black hats, and they could never try. And I said, oh yeah, bullshit. They built the AI that could defeat the best Go player in the world, the best poker players in the world. If they wanted, they could build an AI.
There's no motivation. I can't really. Okay, hold on a second. What time is it? All right. So everybody else wants in this conversation. We're going off the air now. Thank you for watching today. And the links are all over the place. If anyone wants in, just let us know. All right. See you next.